Hey guys, Scott Reekers here with Eastmans Hunting Journal and Eastmans YouTube channel and Eastmans blog, and I'm here today to review from Leica the Geovid 3200.com. It is a range-finding binocular with fantastic ergonomics, a range out to 3,200 yards, and its own app. And in this review, I'm going to tell you all about each of those. So let's start off with the ergonomics. The first thing is, and you will notice this as soon as you go pick this up at say your local Sportsman's Warehouse to try it out in your hand, what you'll see is that its body is not straight. A lot of modern rangefinders are 100% straight body. It's a fairly standard feature. While Leica was doing the research on their new Geovids, their old ones were really blocky, and so they wanted to make a big update with a big splash. They found out that their prisms functioned really well with this bent tube, and it just gave it a level of clarity that they weren't able to achieve otherwise, and it fit fantastic in your hand. That is how that fits. You can see it fits right here. It helps you raise because your thumbs are more comfortable. And so that's the first piece of the ergonomics that you're going to notice. The second piece that you'll notice is the 4-click eye cups that give you different levels of distance between your eye and the lens. And the cups themselves are very comfortable. I spent 8 hours a day for the last 4 days behind these binoculars, and I can tell you that these cups were very comfortable, and on top of that, the eye strain was much less than many of the other binoculars that I have tested. Less eye strain equals less of a chance of a headache. I'm a guy who's light sensitive to begin with, and so that makes for a much more pleasant experience spending a lot of time glassing in the high country. So the next piece is that these are range-finding binoculars. One of the things that you think about with that is how easy is it to reach the buttons for your rangefinder. I've had some where you feel like you're going way over here or having to twist your hand weird to get there. Well, that's not the case with this design from Leica. It's very easy to reach button number 2, button number 1, and that's how they label in their manual. So when you go and use that for changing some of the settings, that's all you've got to work with. The laser sits right here, so it's very true to center of where you're at looking, and so that's very easy to use. You're not trying to figure out where in the world is this thing shooting from. That is very easy to use. So the ergonomics are great. When you look at all the adjustments that you can make for your individual eye, very easy to use. Now, another piece on the ergonomics that I was really impressed with this whole time is I've had some binoculars that really struggle with staying at the point of focus that you set it at. Not these. There's a little bit of kickback that stops them from getting bumped, and so there's tension built into your focus adjustment. That right there is worth having these binoculars around, just from a simple standpoint that you're always going to be right where you set it before. Even pulling it in and out of this bino pouch, I was able to keep it in place, and it worked very well. So I was really happy with that. The next piece that I want to talk about with the Geovid 3200.com is their app. You now have an app that communicates from this binocular by Bluetooth, that you can put the individual settings for the rifle that you are using. And what that does is that gives you an individual setup. This accounts for holdover. This binocular also will give you your degree of angle that you are looking at from where you're sitting. It tells you the angle of degree that you're at. So this is taking a lot of guesswork out of rifle shooting. And so if you're a precision shooter, this is a tool that is going to make you much more accurate and give you the readings and all of the data that you need to use and process. Now, another cool feature that is here is the scan mode. The scan mode allows you to go from one target to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next, without rearranging every single time. That scan mode is really powerful when you've got, say, a couple of deer over on a hillside that you're looking at, and you're wanting to pick, okay, what is all of my distance there? Because as most of us know, when we're shooting at any big game animal, they're not standing still. They're moving. And so the scan mode will allow you to quickly make your adjustments on the rifle. If you're a turret guy, it allows you to make those adjustments very quickly. And so that's something to really consider and look at with this Bluetooth. The Bluetooth also allows you to communicate with your Kestrel device. If you're a precision shooter, again, and really like to shoot those long distance and do the long distance shooting at the range, having that Kestrel available is a fantastic tool. These binoculars will directly communicate with a Kestrel Elite tool. And so we've reviewed that product as well. So if you want to see how that would work and what it does and how you compare it to the Leica Geovid 3200.com, that is possible. that's kind of the technology side, but what I also want to tell you is something that that's really cool that Leica did originally, but is no longer a part of this because now they have the app and the Bluetooth technology, so you no longer have to worry about your SD card. This 3200.com does not have an SD card, so you don't have to worry about putting that in. Leica made a big splash with your ability to input your ballistics directly into your binocular, but that's no longer the case with this binocular because Bluetooth, it communicates with your phone. Most of us have our phones with us because we use it for mapping tools, we use it for taking pictures, we take great pictures with our phones now. And so we also, a lot of us are getting video of different pieces of our hunt. And so you can now have all the ballistics on your app, you can communicate with your Kestrel, you have all of those settings here. The next piece that you have with this is, what about the lenses, Scott? What is there to talk about with protecting your lenses and things of that nature? Well, there is a hydro coating that is here on the lens. It's actually an HCR is what it's called, and it will bead off these lenses very well. Now here's another cool feature to think about. I'm not planning on throwing this into a pool that's 5 meters deep, but accidents happen. Let's say you're on a trip to Alaska and you're getting out of the boat or something of that nature. Your binoculars could fall in. Well, your first thought is, oh no, I just lost some of my electronics. This is waterproof up to 5 meters deep. My assumption is this: if it's waterproof up to 5 meters deep, that's going to give you enough time to get all your clothes off, dive in, and go after the things. Because if you bought a rangefinding binocular from Leica, you're going to want to go after them. You're going to want to get the magnet, or you're going to go diving in after it. I certainly know that I would. Rest assured that with that promise from Leica that these are safe up to 5 meters underwater, that you will have functioning binoculars when they come back up. That in and of itself is a fantastic feature because that is almost like having a water warranty of sorts. So another thing I wanted to cover is this true to distance? Well, I would be lying to you if I said that I got it out to 3,200 yards, but I did get it out to 2,900. If I can get it out to 2,900, and that was physically as far as I could get this. I had nothing further I could range to get it out to 3,200 yards or closer. So that is exactly how far I got it. 3,200 stands for the 3,200 yards. In meters, that is 2,950 approximately yards that you can get. So this binocular is true to form. It does exactly what it said it was going to do. I was very happy with its performance, and I would gladly take these on any trip with me into the high country. So what about for archers? Like, I know a lot of archery guys, they're tailing bulls and things like that, and so you want some different clarity. Mine are 10 by 42, but if you only want the 8 power, that is available. You can also get the 8 by 56, so you have a little bit wider scope of view when you're looking out for those archery hunts. I was able to get this to 5 yards. And so that's pretty close. I don't know that you need to be ranging at 5 yards. Most of you guys know, if at worst you have a 20-yard pin. A lot of guys have gone to using a straight 30-yard pin. And so that's how close this thing would do. So 5 yards all the way up to 3,200 yards is accurate. And as they claim, it worked just fine. Finally, I want to close this out with the practical side. Sometimes range-finding binoculars are known for not having as much clarity as, say, their non-range-finding comparisons or comparable binoculars. I was able to pick apart a really big buck with these binoculars. I was able to see that he was exactly what we are looking for, buck of a lifetime. And he was also with another really big typical buck that I could tell what they were from far away. Did I still get the spotting scope on them? Absolutely. That's a fairly normal feature of hunting in the high country. But was the clarity good enough on these binoculars that I could definitely see everything that I wanted to see in the high country? Far and away. And I ranged them both at 900 yards. Far enough away where I wasn't disturbing them, but I could tell what they were. So I had the clarity at 900 yards and further to see what I was looking at. So thanks for coming along for this review, and it was a lot of fun to test out this product from Leica, the Geovid 3200.com. Make sure you've subscribed to the Eastmans Hunting Journal YouTube channel and also to our e-news so we can send you every single one of these reviews and you can stay informed on great products that are coming out every year.